What is going on, friend? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. First time in quite a while. Here we have Stuart Stovall, the newest member of the Grip and Rip Throw Squad, signed up for a technical coaching package for the next month. So stoked to help him out. Let's take a look, Stuart. You sent me 5 videos, I think, and good news for you, most of them looked the same. Some were better than others, but I think you kind of have the same issue across the board, which is good. You know, some people, their throws look wildly different from throw to throw, like mine, personally speaking. And these throws look pretty similar, but all kind of have the same issue of just kind of impatience, kind of off balance, posture maybe not the best. But we will break it down and give you some info to work on for the next month while we have more communication via text. So let's break it down. First and foremost, left-handed. So be prepared for me to mix up left side and right side, or left hand and right hand. But you're starting offset, so that right foot is at 0. You're opening up and facing 270 pretty well. Also odd camera angle. Not your fault. You know, some people just don't have tripods or don't have trash cans or don't have things around them to put prop their cameras up on. But so this is you gotta take everything I say with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like for example, this first wind, like to me, looks very steep. Just kind of in terms of maybe it's the camera angle, maybe it's actually steep. Who knows? But first wind looks a little bit steep, so maybe from the start, try to get your hands up and out a little bit more. Be a little bit more patient in this first preliminary swing, and then just try to feel that ball kind of pulling, you know, parallel with the ground, I guess. The first one, not a big deal though. And then going into the second wind, looks pretty decent. You're opening up, connecting pretty well. You're facing 270 being off to, from your perspective as a thrower, off to your left, since you are left-handed. As you're opening up to the left and connecting pretty well. Into the second wind, hands maybe get a little bit low. So this is kind of what I'm talking about here. And what goes down must come up. And then into the, into the second wind, you're facing to your left pretty well. You step up with the ball. Things look pretty good. You step out a little bit. You counter the ball pretty well. You get a little bit of extension in the lower back here. But the ball seems to have a little bit more direction out, so not as steep here. Maybe a little bit too much extension through the back and the hips, but you know, if you can manage it and you can handle it well, then I think it's okay. I just think it might lead to some instability, but just be cognizant of that, just be aware of it. But you do open up and connect well off 180, off the second wind, and then as you go through entry, so this is, I think, going to be the most crucial part for you. You can see yourself kind of sitting back, setting up that your right side for entry a little bit. You're opening up, connect early, long right arm across the body. You can see that left elbow is kind of down a little bit. And then you kind of, let's see. Yeah, it's not bad. Like you work with the ball pretty well. Like you're not really pulling this right side across. It looks pretty balanced. That left elbow might be down just a little bit too much, but hey, who knows? It does look like you do try to extend it like right about there. So you are getting a little push on it, which is good. The biggest thing I see in your entry though is if we look at your right side, like I said, like right off this wind, you start to see this right hip kind of shift over this right foot. It's like you're trying to set up that right side for entry. So you do it with the hip, which is good, but then this right shoulder never really quite gets out over that right foot to set up a nice solid right side axis for you as a left-handed thrower. And then you can see like you're just kind of off balance from there. If you look at the position of your body, your right foot, knee, hip, and then you start to see a little tilt, you know, let's say like a 5-degree tilt. If, you know, 0 degrees is straight up and down, you're just a little tilt, a little heavy on your left side, a little leaned towards the left side in your entry. So this right side never really quite gets out over that right foot. So you never really quite set up the entry stability quite like you need. And then as you go through, I think you'll see how that affects the rest of the throw, perhaps, with you just not quite getting over your right side enough in the entry, or like I said, not having enough right side stability in entry. That being said, like I said, you do turn with the ball pretty well. So like through single support, you're turning with the ball, you can see your legs, everything kind of turning together with it. It's pretty decent. Could maybe get your left hip to chase the ball a little bit more. It's not like you're quite sitting back with it, but it just looks like a little passive. This right side's kind of leading a little bit, and then the left side just kind of like along for the ride. But as you go into the next turn, as you catch, good separation, ball back in the direction of the sector. Hips could be, I think in the first catch it's not so big of a deal, but maybe as the throw goes on, you want to get your hips a little bit more underneath you. And then as you go through this double support, it looks like you can start to see some tension in that right shoulder. Yeah, you start to see yourself pull and drag the ball across a little bit, where you start to see this right side leading ahead of everything. Your lower body's turning with it pretty well. But you just see like right here in this position, ball is, let's say right here, back towards 0, and your head is looking in the direction of, let's say 45, 60 degrees after 0. Your right side's kind of turning ahead of it a little bit. Your lower body's all right, but it's your upper body, your head and your shoulder that are kind of leading the ball. And then you can start to see this left arm bent. You know, you're tightening up that left arm a little bit because that right arm is coming across your body. And then you start to see, like, especially this position right here, hips, torso, head looking towards 90 off to your right, but then the ball's back like 45 degrees before 0. Or sorry, after 0. And then as you turn, now you start to see the ball climb a little bit over this your right side. So you're getting steeper on the right side towards the right sector line, which is usually a sign of not being patient enough, or pulling too much, or just doing too much with that right side, or once again, you as a left-handed thrower. As you go to catch, I mean, pretty solid catch in terms of, once again, separation. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here, where your hips are a little bit back, your torso has a little bit of a forward lean, and you start to see yourself get a little bit heavy on that left side, on that left foot, and then we'll see what happens from here. And part of this is because of the impatience with this right side, and then also just the steepness of the orbit around the right. So what goes up must come down. So the ball comes down on your left side, and you're kind of a little pitted, you know, a little forwards, and just not the most stable because you're a little heavy on that right side. But as you go through double support, you can see yourself kind of settling back, hitting some pendulum, which is good. But it's the same kind of thing. You're just leading with that right side. All right, so you really got it. That's going to be the biggest thing for the next month. I'm just going to tell you, calm down your right side, feel more of the push, feel more of the whoosh, feel the ball go, be more patient, whatever it might be. We got to find the terminology that works for you. But this is going to be the biggest thing. If you can't fix this, man, it's going to be a real struggle to throw far. So that's our goal. But as you go through this turn, like I said, that right side's leading. Your lower body still turns with it pretty well. So you have a good foundation in terms of turning with the ball. It's just you got to calm down that upper body. That's kind of what kills all the natural momentum. Sorry, stumbling over my words. But then same sort of thing here. Steep around here. High point is at like, it looks about like right there. So like high point should be around like 180-ish, maybe a little before, maybe a little after. But high point being over here is not the most efficient, because like I said, what goes up must come down. You see the ball start to drop from there, and then it hits its low point like right there. So you're kind of off by, I don't know, 60, 75 degrees. And like I said, posture, hips need to be more underneath you. Chest needs to be more upright. Torso needs to be more upright. You can see this forward bend in the torso. And then from there, you're heavy on this left side. And now you start to see more of the same thing. When you're off balance, you're just going to pull more and more, because your body's saying, hey, we want to be on our left side, so we're going to pull more with the right shoulder. It's kind of a chain reaction sort of thing. Your lower body's still turning with it well. You have the right idea of the lower body with the left leg, left hip, and legs turning together. It's just this right shoulder goes crazy and totally kills the momentum. So this is where I think the throw really starts to go awry, in terms of, you know, you look good through 2, third turn's kind of iffy, and then fourth turn isn't that good. You're trying to learn how to do 4 turns, and you just got to keep in mind that the rhythm is different. You don't need to go so hard, or rather, you don't go the same speed in a 4-turn throw as you do in a 3-turn throw throughout the first 3 turns. It's not just add an extra turn to go faster. It's start 10% slower to end 10% faster, perhaps. Different rhythm. So it's going to take a while to learn. So we're going to have to slow things down, take it nice and easy. And then, like I said, it's kind of the same thing as an entry. Like I said, you're not getting that right shoulder out over this right foot enough. So you are not stable enough. The ball doesn't get to the right enough. You're kind of off balance, heavy on this left side. And then when you go to catch, same sort of thing. Or even in single support, high points are right about there. Ball comes down, off balance, very heavy on this left side. And it's really hard to be strong enough to work yourself out of this position, which, as you can see, like you go to push and extend and work the ball in your finish, and you just see like there's no chance you're going to be strong enough with that left leg to balance yourself out and finish like, let's say, tall or centered in the throw, because you're so off balance here. As you can see, this left leg sort of extends. Right leg here extends, pushing you back this way. And then that left leg tries to turn and do what it can, but because this right side's pulling so much, it's just sort of impossible. So, and he had, like I said, 4 or 5 year throws. Most of your throws you sent me all kind of look the same, where you're very off balance in 3 and 4, and you end up pulling and just kind of like dumping the finish. You never really quite work the ball through the finish or push the ball through the finish. So, I would say easy fix, at least when I'm talking about it. Like when I look at your throw, there's only, 1 or 2 things. The big thing being patience with that right side. That's the biggest thing we got to fix. So easy to fix that because it's the only thing we really got to fix. The hard part is that's one of the hardest things to fix. So yeah, but we're gonna see what we can do. Got all summer, so let's get to it. Alrighty. So yes, if you watched this video and you enjoyed it, you thought, man, what insightful information, then go to my website, gripandrip.co, and sign up for a technical analysis of your own, or online throws programming, throws coaching. And if you sign up for any of the monthly packages, you do get a free technical analysis if you're a first-time client. So check it out. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Sean Don signing off.